Good evening, everybody. Thanks for joining us here on the ice, brought to you by Dokesburg Fields, Case Financial Group, Toby Hockey, and of course our friends Pilot Mountain Hockey Academy. Tonight's guests are teammates, not just for this year, but almost a decade. They've been playing since they've probably learned how to tie their own skates in Thunder Bay, Ontario. Both have had successful years in their first year with the Greater Toronto Hockey League, the GTHL, and now they have their sights set on their next step because both of these players we're talking to tonight were drafted into the Ontario Hockey League Premier Draft this past month. We're going to talk to goaltender Carter George, as well as defenseman Nicholas Holomego, and their connection, their relationship on and off the ice, as well as the quirks and quarrels of playing in Thunder Bay and getting to play in their first year of the GTHL. We'll also end this interview talking to them about the Fast Five and getting to know them a little bit off the ice as well as on the ice. So tonight's guests on the ice, Mr. Carter George and Mr. Nicholas Holomego. Please welcome them right after this. And as you see, we have Mr. Carter George in the top corner and Nicholas Holomego. Good evening, gentlemen. Thank you for joining me here on the ice. How are we doing today? We're both in Thunder Bay, correct?
Correct.
We're both.
You guys were like bang on, like synonymous. You didn't even need like the announcement. You were ready to go. You're super excited. I love the fact we're going to talk a little about this. First and foremost, I got to ask each one of you to introduce yourselves because, quite frankly, we may not know who Carter and Nick are. Start off, Carter.
Hi, I'm Carter George. I'm the goaltender for the Thunder Bay Kings. I wear number 1. I got drafted to Owen Sound in the 3rd round, 53rd overall. I'm just a kid from a small town. Know everyone here. Good kid, good grades, and love life.
I'm Nicholas Holomego. I'm a defenseman for the Thunder Bay Kings, number 18, and I got drafted by the Erie Otters in the 5th round, 85th overall. And yeah, like you said, I'm a small town kid. Good grades. Like to yeah.
Very humble gentleman. I love to hear that, both of you. Now, can you remember the first time that both of you grew up, saw each other in the dressing room, and said, "Hi, I'm Carter. Hi, I'm Nicholas. Nice to meet you. I guess we're going to play hockey together for the next 10 years."
Yeah.
I'd probably say it was a spring hockey tournament when we played for the Thunder Bay Bandits back in our first year in novice. We were probably the 2 better players, and I saw this kid who's a foot taller than everyone. I was like, this kid's going to be pretty good.
Yeah, probably Bandits was probably when we first started to click, and yeah, Carter's always been one of the best goalies in Thunder Bay, and he's normally the one that keeps us in all those tournaments when we go down to the States, and yeah.
So a lot of tournaments, playing Bandits, of course, playing in the Junior Kings program. Tell us what it was like for both of you. Let's start with Nicholas here. What it was like playing, teams in and around Northwestern Ontario, and then going down to the States and the certain showcase tournaments. What did you like about the travel? And then Carter, I'm going to ask you the same question as well, right after Nicholas.
Yeah, the travel was pretty cool. I liked going down to the States, especially at a young age. It was fun to play against the American players because it's like a totally different style of hockey because they're very skilled and they don't really like to get hit as much because we love to hit down here. So yeah, it was a huge style that we like to play against.
I'd definitely say my favorite part was being with the team. I also felt it was pretty cool that you got to miss a Friday of school to go down to play hockey. I loved saying that to my teachers. I wasn't going to be there. But I liked playing those kids. They're like the Toronto kids, lots of skill, lots of talent. I don't know. I got a lot of shots and I loved it.
Now, both of you did you have to play a year above when you went across the border, or was it always the same age? I mean, I remember when I played against teams south of the border, you said you were a peewee, you were playing against a year older. Was that the same case for both of you?
For spring hockey, we play with our same age. We played with the 2006 group. But for winter hockey, our peewee first year, yeah, we played with the 2005s.
So both of you growing up, were there more of a nucleus growing up at that age? I mean, obviously you two have been teammates for almost a decade. How many of you players on your current 16 under team right now have played together for quite a bit of time together?
I'd probably say almost all of us knew who each other were for the past 10 years, I'd say. I'd say a good handful of us, maybe 7, 8, have all played together and been on the Kings and played spring hockey together. So we have good chemistry and we know what every player can do and their abilities and weaknesses and everything like that.
Nick, I'm going to ask you, growing up playing defense, what kind of a defenseman did you want to be growing up? Did you want to be the one that stayed at home and protected players like Carter, or were you the one that wanted to move the puck ahead, join the rush, become that third player on a 3-on-2 and take the heavy shot?
Yeah, well, so when I was younger, probably when I was in Pee-wee, I always wanted to be that goal scorer. But as I started to get older, going into Bantam, I started to figure out that my role was like a big defenseman, made a good first pass out of the zone, and who cleared guys out in front of the net for Carter. And yeah, I feel like just when I got older, I started to figure out my role, and just stuck with it for now.
Carter, how great is it to have a defenseman like Nicholas in your back pocket, or in your front pocket, I should say, making sure you saw the pucks? And did you ever have to give Nicholas a bit of a hard time for not clearing the front of the net?
Well, it was pretty easy to see when we had a kid that's a foot taller than everyone, just pushing kids with his arm, not really even trying, just moving them. It was pretty nice as a goalie, especially. And then whenever there was a scrum, I know I could push someone and he'd have my back and they wouldn't push me back. So I knew I could get away with some stuff, and I loved it.
I loved it too. I mean, I'd love to have a big guy like Nicholas. What are you, 6'4", 6'5" with skates on, Nick?
6'4", yeah. Probably like closer to 6'6" on skates now.
And you're not even finished growing?
Probably not. I'm only 15 years old, so probably got a couple more years of growing.
Do you think that's one of the pluses of being drafted in the OHL and having that size, or do you think it's just reflective of your entire game that's giving you the opportunity to be drafted in the 5th round?
Oh, I think my size does have a lot to do with it, because I'm a physical guy. I feel like I can jump into the league and I'll play like a mature game, and hopefully not get knocked around too much, and yeah.
Well, they'll definitely keep you in check when you make that move, no question about it. For both of you, it's obviously growing up playing hockey was a bit of a seasonal sport. What other sports did we play growing up, not just hockey? Carter, let's start with you.
I was a big baseball guy. I played for the Thunder Bay Lakers up here, which was our AAA team. We'd go down to Mini like twice or 3 times in the summer and spring. That was kind of my main sport. And then the past couple of years, I've kind of started to get into tennis and golf. I've been really enjoying that too.
Nicholas?
Yeah, I'm a big golf person. Me and my buddies like to go golfing a lot in the summer. I like to play basketball a lot too. Basketball and golf are probably the 2 biggest sports I like to play in the summer.
Basketball is a no-brainer, I think, when you're 6'4".
Yeah, exactly.
Who hits the longer ball, Carter or Nicholas? Or do we know?
Oh, I don't know. We haven't been golfing together in a while, so
yeah.
I don't know.
I'd give it to him because, I mean, he's got a longer reach and probably got some more whip on it.
Yeah, but
last time I checked, goaltenders have better hips, don't they?
True.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have to. That'll be the challenge of the summer. Carter versus Nicholas. Who drives the long ball? Who drives for show? Who putts for double bogey? On the next episode of On the Ice, brought to you by Carter and Nicholas. Nonetheless, tell me how important it is, gentlemen, to be playing other sports growing up. What made you appreciate the other sports, but then realize hockey was your go-to? Start with you, Nicholas.
I think playing other sports is very important because it teaches you teamwork and it shows you that there's other things involved in hockey, like for example, for football, you gotta know your route and know where you gotta go on the ice. But I feel like when I was closer to probably 10, 11 years old, that's when I really figured out that the hockey's my number one sport. It's probably when I figured it out.
Carter, for yourself, I mean, you got to have hand-eye coordination like a magician. Like sleight of hand, of course, but I mean, tell me what these other sports do to you. I mean, you talked about tennis, you talked about playing golf, you talked about playing baseball. All those have to come synonymously with hand-eye coordination, correct?
Correct. I think it's huge. It helps me be more of an athlete. Like for example, baseball, it helped my glove hand a lot. I think golf helped my patience out and get me calm. Tennis helped my hand-eye and like my speed and acceleration. I think if you put it all together, it helps you be a better hockey player. And doing other sports helps you find other muscles that you don't know you have or didn't know you used. And I feel like that helps a lot.
What would be the message to younger players that are starting to think about, okay, I want to play hockey 365 days a year? What would be the message you would give younger kids to say, you know what, maybe think about playing another sport so you either don't get burnt out or you get injured or you, like you said, you realize you have different potentials in other sports per se. What would you like to tell those younger ones?
I would say you have to take a break. You can't be on the ice all summer, all spring, all fall, all winter. As much as you'd love to, it's hard mentally and physically on the body. You need to take time off and even have a good break. Work on off-ice conditioning and strengthening your body. And it'll just help you out for the upcoming season.
Nicholas, would you agree or disagree?
I would agree. I think it's very important to take a break and rest your muscles because when you're older, playing at a higher level, you don't want to get risk injuries and stuff playing all year round. Yeah, so I think it's good to play other sports, work other muscles, and
I agree more. I grew up coming out of this womb with skates on, but I wore everything except a tutu. So we'll leave those stories for later. Carter George, Nicholas Holomego with me here on the ice. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. We're going to talk about this season, how it was a little bit different, but also so important to get back on the ice after having a season and a half not playing hockey. Stay with us. We'll be back on the ice. Back with goaltender number one on the ice and number one in our hearts today, Carter George, and a defenseman who wears a forwards number 18, Nicholas Holomego. Nicholas, was that the only number that was available for you this year, or has that been your number for quite some time?
When I was in PUE, my number was number 8 until I got to Bantam. The older guys, they took my number 8, so I had to switch to number 18, my first year Bantam. And since then, I just always stuck with 18. It's just been my number.
Carter, you've always been number 1?
I'm a big 72 kind of guy, but we weren't really allowed to choose our numbers other than 1 and 30, and I felt like 1 was a better number.
30 is closer to 72,
but one on the ice. So I think of it.
There we go. This year was extremely different for both of you gentlemen. Obviously, not just playing in Northwestern Ontario, but the first year you actually got to play in the GTHL. What was it like getting into playing against that caliber of hockey and those teams in that area? And how hard was it? Hard of a transition for you, or is it just because you were so excited to finally get and play in this GTHL that it was just happy to be here?
I think it was.
Well, I felt it was a great experience. I mean, it's a great league, probably the best in Canada. I didn't feel a difference because we had 2 years off, so it was like you weren't adjusting from anything else. So it was just like you go right into it. Um, I felt the first weekend was a little tough getting used to the 4 games in a weekend. But other than that, I loved every minute of it. Got a lot of shots, played a lot of good teams, skilled players, and I loved every minute of it.
Nicholas, how about for you? Well, how hard was it taking almost 2 years off because of this pandemic and then going right into this GTHL like Carter said, 4 game weekends? Like, that's got to do a
Yeah.
lot of extreme preparation for all the players.
Yeah. So the season actually started 1 month later, so we got a month of practice to get our team together and get our conditioning up. So I think the first time when we went down the first weekend, it was a huge eye opener. We played like the 4 best teams in the tournament or in the league, probably arguably be the best teams in the world. And right after that weekend, we knew we had a lot of work to do, and I feel like we got a lot better during the season. We got used to the caliber of play that they play down there, and yeah, it was good.
This year this is a draft year. Do you think that's probably the reason why there was such great talent of all the teams? Because the teams are still together, they aren't being picked out, and they're not seeing, the 17s and the 18s getting into the OHL or other junior programs. Do you think that's why we saw such great teams this year, Carter?
I think that was one thing. I felt like another one was having such a break. A lot of kids developed off ice, matured over the year, and got a lot stronger and had a lot of time to focus and work on their craft. So I felt like that helped them out a lot. And you could tell that this was a pretty deep draft class.
Nick, what's your thoughts on that? I mean, playing against teams you've never seen before, how is it to, grade yourself comparing to the other players and the other teams you saw over the course of this season?
Yeah, well, we had 2 years off, so we didn't really know where everybody was and what players were really good anymore. So it was kind of just a huge huge thing like to step into. But I feel like as a team, we did well, and we held our own this year. So
Regardless of, the records, we will leave records aside. I mean, because quite frankly, it's difficult to get into that system. I mean, you think about the travel that you gentlemen took on this season, 7 weekends to Toronto, all by plane. You didn't take a bus once. Very well planned out weekends. You're going through the course of this season. You realize it's almost coming to an end. How do you maintain the focus when you know that draft time is up and coming? Let's start with you, Nicholas. What was your main plan, knowing that growing through this season, you have an opportunity to hear your name called, but you still have to remain focused? What did you end up doing?
yeah, well, I stuck to a strict workout plan, and me and my dad, we actually were fortunate enough to have a huge yard. So I had an outdoor rink 2 winters, which was a huge benefit for me. So I was on the outdoor rink probably 2-3 times a day when there was really nothing going on. So I just I worked on my skills, kept focused, tried to keep myself motivated, and just stuck to my workout plan, and yeah.
Carter, what about you? I mean, Dad doesn't have the hardest shot anymore. I know that. But, I mean, did you invite some of the boys over to rip it around a bit, or how'd you maintain what you were doing over the last couple of years into this season and forward?
So I had a billet last year. So we'd go to the outdoor rink a couple blocks away from my house, and he'd rip pucks at me for 3 hours straight. And he was a great kid, and he had pretty good hands, and he'd beat me on a couple breakaways here and there. But I was on the rink a lot with him. I worked out every day or did something active every day to keep my mindset on the upcoming season.
Fabulous. Season's over. We're on to the next step. We're still realizing, okay, we've got a draft day ahead of us. Did you previously listen to the news or see the previews and potentially where you might get drafted? And do you remember where you were drafted, where you were when you heard your name? Let's start with you, Carter.
So me and Nick both went with our U18 team to West Regionals in Verdun, Manitoba. So I was watching the draft. Nick was fortunate enough to play. I was in the stands watching the draft on my phone. And then after the game, we went to Boston Pizza, and my advisor texted me. He said OS for Owen Sound. So I went outside. And my dad called me, screaming, happy. And 5 seconds later, I hung up on him because the GM called me and said, "Welcome aboard." And then I felt it was a pretty special moment. And then when I walked back into Applebee's, I got a pretty good round of applause.
Yourself, Nicholas, do you remember? So you were playing,
Yeah.
and
I know. I was actually, it was about probably right in the morning of Saturday. Right when I woke up, I went to my dad and my stepmom's room, and we were just sitting there. It was me, my dad's Carter, and my other buddy Max, and we were just watching the draft, and oh yeah, so we were just sitting there, and all of a sudden I hear my stepmom scream on the screen. She's jumping up and down. And I was like, yeah, there it is, and it was a exciting time.
absolutely. Now, Carter, I was given a list here. I'm gonna pump your tires just a bit, or make sure your skates are super sharp. Sorry, Nicholas, I wasn't given the same list, but first of all, pretty impressive names to go along with Carter George. Top 4 highest Thunder Bay Kings goalies ever drafted in the OHL priority selections. You know this list?
No, I do not.
Okay, so number 1 was Matt Murray.
Yeah.
Second round, 35th overall. Alex Auld was third round, 39th overall. Then there's your name, Carter George, third round, 53rd overall. Mackenzie Blackwood went in the 5th round. So you're the third highest picked Thunder Bay King goaltender. Pretty good company. Nicholas, I've been told that you don't skip leg day.
No, don't skip leg day.
Don't skip leg day.
No.
Max has told me that you never skip leg day.
Max Buffoni?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he has pretty strong legs.
He's the guy. He's
Yeah.
is he quite the character that he says that he is, or is he very humble around you guys?
He's he's a pretty humble guy. He likes to brag to us in the dressing room, but yeah, I don't know about his legs.
Don't know about his legs.
I don't know about his legs.
Sure, I'll get a text from Max later on about that. What was it like playing in Verdun? Did you guys enjoy that experience? I mean, obviously you didn't really have that much. I don't want to say difficulty with the Kenora team, but playing against the 3 teams in Southwest and the team from Winnipeg and Notre Dame. I mean, that's some pretty high quality group there. Carter, what did you like about that weekend, and what were some of the take homes from your last weekend trip with your crew from Thunder Bay?
I love the weekend. It was the funnest weekend I've probably had on a hockey tournament. It was a long bus trip with the boys. It was super fun, especially being with the older kids and being the only 06s on the team. I got to watch a lot of great hockey and a lot of skilled players, and it was pretty cool to watch, and it was amazing, and I love being a part with that team.
Absolutely. Nicholas, for you, I mean, playing up as well, I mean,
Yeah.
did it take a bit of a getting used to playing with those guys, or is it something you were ready for and you knew you were in the right place?
Yeah, well, the first game, I was kind of an eye opener. They're way bigger. They probably weigh 20 more pounds than the guys we play in our league, and their hits hurt some just that extra bit. And yeah, but I feel like towards the end of the weekend, I started to figure out the speed and where not to go on the ice so you don't get killed. And yeah, but it was good.
Where not to go so you don't get killed. Yes.
Yeah,
that's some very good words. You should have that tattooed somewhere. Put that on maybe somewhere in the rink. Definitely want to make sure you clear the front of the net for your goaltender, which is great.
Yeah,
exactly. We've talked about that as well. We're now into what you want to call the off season or the preparation season. I call for upcoming year. Carter, what are your plans for this off season, and what are you looking forward to come early August, September, when you got to start looking at the skates and realizing, hey, it's time to get back in action? Or are we planning on staying on the ice for the entire season?
So I'm most likely going to take a break in June and July, focus on off ice stuff, play other sports, go golfing with the buddies, and play tennis and baseball and all that. Have some fun with the boys, and then work on my off ice conditioning and strengthening. Then once it comes to August, I'll start ramping up with some on ice stuff, getting ready for training camp.
Yourself, Nicholas?
Yeah, probably the whole month of July. I'm probably just gonna take off the skates, work in the gym, try to get some size on me, work on my foot speed and
More size, right? You need more size, right?
more weight and
More weight, okay.
yeah. And then when I probably in July, I'm probably gonna start ramping up the ice time, getting ready for training camp in August.
Right on. So are both of you planning on taking a rookie camp or a development camp for your prospective OHL teams? And what are you looking forward to most to those first couple of minutes on the ice with those teams coming up?
I'm definitely gonna go to the rookie camp, and I'm super excited. I'm pumped. I haven't been to a camp yet, so I feel I'm super excited for that, and I just can't wait to be on the ice with a lot of skilled players.
Nicholas?
Yeah, well, I leave for a rookie camp this Friday. It's actually coming up soon, and yeah, I'm just hyped to play against all like the high class guys, and yeah, I think it's just gonna be an amazing weekend.
Absolutely. Open mind. Absolutely. Enjoy it. It's quite the rush. It's quite the thrill. And, bigger and better things are on the horizon for both of you gentlemen. We've talked a lot about hockey this last 25, 27 minutes or so. Now we have a chance to kind of open it up a bit and relax, take the skates off. We just finished the season. It's time for the Fast Five. 5 quick questions to each of you. First thing that comes to your mind, Carter's ready for it. I know he's smiling from ear to ear already. Nick's kind of worried. Don't worry. It's not that hard. I don't make it too hard on you. First question. Let's start here. First question, Nicholas.
Yeah.
We'll get you to start with this. What's your favorite class or subject in school?
Oh, my favorite class. I gotta say, science. Actually, it's probably one of my favorite classes. I like to do all like the chemistry labs and exploding things and dissecting things. It's probably one of my favorite things to do.
I could see you being a catalyst on and off the ice. You're that catalyst of the chemical compound. Yourself, Carter, what's your favorite? You can't say phys ed or recess. Those two are off limits, bud.
I'm a big math guy. I love numbers, and I'm good with them.
I would say angles. Don't goaltenders need to know their angles?
Yeah, they do, and you know projection of the puck and the angle of the stick and the release and all that.
There you go. Nicholas, I would have thought velocity, like acceleration and how fast the puck travels, that would be up your alley too. So another little, but maybe that's a second favorite one beside the catalyst part of Mr. Nicholas Holomego. Yeah. Question 2: who does the better cooking at home, mom or dad, or do you trump both of them? Carter?
Probably mom. She cooks most nights, I'd say. Probably better.
Okay, Nick?
I have to say my mom. My dad is not a very good cook. Last time he tried cooking was like a couple years ago, and the stove was on fire, so he kind of got put off that job. So
sorry, Ryan. Don't leave it alone. Okay, so what's mom's go-to dinner when it's an off night? You get to have the kitchen with mom. What are you requesting from mom's kitchen, Nicholas?
Personally, I love her ribs. She makes very good ribs. It's probably been my favorite food forever that she made, and I just love it. She makes really good ribs.
I would request breakfast from Nick's mom. She makes world's famous crepes. I love them. Every time I go over, I expect these crepes, and I always get them. They're delicious.
You expect them. That's high and mighty of Mr. George.
Yeah, she makes them all the time, and they're amazing, off the charts.
Very cool. Question 3 for both of you gentlemen. Let's start with you, Carter. What city or what town do you enjoy playing, or have you enjoyed playing hockey in? And which city or town would you like to visit as a vacation?
Ooh. I felt my favorite one was when me and Nick went to France in Mont Blanc. Chamonix. We had a Airbnb and we were able to walk to the rink, and I felt that was pretty cool. And they had a big track outside the rink, so it was like a good spot to warm up. And it was in the springtime, so it was nice weather too. And then I'd say a place, probably avoid. I wouldn't really have one. As long as there's a rink there, I'll play there.
Okay. Nicholas, do you have the same sentimental value of
Yeah.
Chamonix, France?
Yeah, I gotta say, it was probably one of my favorite trips. It was pretty cool to play hockey down there against the European teams, and yeah, we had an Airbnb probably like it was like a 5-minute walk from the rink, and yeah, it was a very cool experience, especially like all the mountains. We had a mountain view right outside our deck, and it was a really cool experience.
Very cool. Now, obviously, there was more. Did the entire team stay in the Airbnb, or was it all just a couple of families?
It was just my family and Carter's family, and my friend's family too.
Cool.
So it was 3 families in the one Airbnb, and the rest of the team, I think they're all in a hotel.
Yeah.
Right across, from the arena.
So Airbnb is the way to go. I have to do that next time I go traveling, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's
I'm not a
good.
hotel fan. I don't like hotels.
No.
Question 4. Before the game, we have a superstition. Do we have a superstition? And if so, do you tell us what it is, or do you keep that superstitious? Nicholas?
I don't really have any superstitions. I really believe in them. I haven't really stuck to anyone. I tried to do that, get dressed on the left side a couple times, but I just forget somehow. I just stuck to not doing superstition. Not my thing.
Carter?
I'm surprisingly not very superstitious for a goalie. I just listen to the same playlist on the way there, and then the only thing I really do is tape the knob on my stick and put grip tape on it, and that's it.
Okay, very simple. Now, Carter, you've alluded to my last and final question. You talked about music. I personally am more of a country and hip hop kind of guy. No, not Nelly and Florida Georgia line, but if you have to get ramped up for a hockey game, which is what we're talking about, and you get to enter the ice and you get to pick your song to enter the ice on, what is that song, Nicholas?
Ooh. Probably Peppa's. It's a very good song. It's a really hype song. I just learned it from the U18 team because that was kind of their walkout song, and
Okay,
yeah, really good song.
so it's PG, obviously.
Yeah, it's PG. It's like kind of like it's just a hype song. It's really good. I really know how
Peppers,
to
I got to check this out. Okay,
yeah.
Carter?
I'm more of like a hip hop kind of guy, like a lot of upbeat stuff, some Katy Perry or something like that. I'd say the song I'd definitely probably use would be House of Memories by Panic at the Disco. I just like the song a lot and it gets me going.
I do know that song. Okay, I like that choice. Haven't had that on the show yet, but I do appreciate that. Very cool. If you had last one, this is the 6th. This is the bonus question. You're stuck at a karaoke bar when you're 19 years old or 20. What song are you going to sing?
Don't Stop Believing.
Safe.
Yeah, Don't Stop Believing. That's probably the song I would go with.
There we go. And Carter?
That's a good one. I'm gonna go with Sweet Caroline.
Oh, even better. Neil Diamond. Oh, you're gonna get some roses thrown at you for that one, buddy. Good work. Well, gentlemen, you passed the test. Well done. Carter George off to Owen Sound. Nicholas Holomego, I forget, where are you off to? 5th round. Where are you off to? There's so many teams out there, man.
Erie
Otters. That's right. We have an otter, and we have what's Owen Sound's mascot?
Bear.
It's like a bear. Owen Sound Attack.
Attack. That's right. They're called the Attack. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I guess I can ask you, why did you get homesick at all?
Not really, no.
No.
You've traveled. You've gone everywhere. You're like Johnny Cash. You've traveled everywhere.
Yeah.
Man. For hockey or not hockey, it's good to go.
Yeah.
Right on, gentlemen. Last thing I get to do on the show is I'd like to give either of you the floor. Anyone you would like to thank, appreciate. Thank you for all your wonderful help through my career thus far. Carter, let's start with you, and then Nick, you can have the final word.
I just want to thank all my parents, friends, teachers, all my coaches that have helped me along the way, and my advisor for helping me out a lot this year. I just want to thank all you guys.
Yeah, Sam. Just like to thank my family, my friends, my teachers, my teammates also, and my advisor. He's been a huge part, and yeah.
Gentlemen, both very humble, very mature. I can see that you have a long future ahead of both you in everything and anything you challenge yourselves to. Congratulations on the priority draft. Congratulations on this season. Look forward to seeing how well you do. Carter George and Nicholas Holomego joining me on the ice. Thank you for joining us tonight on the ice, bringing more goodness to the greatness as always here on ASTV. I'd like to thank our sponsors as always. And we will see you next week after the long weekend. Enjoy Victoria Day. Be good to yourselves. Be good to your neighbors. And if you have high flood waters, let's hopefully they go down. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye-bye for now. Welcome to Pilot Mountain Hockey Academy, your world-class academic and hockey training facility created to maximize each student's athletic and academic potential. Blackjack Stewart Arena, home of the Buffalo, is inside the 46,000 square foot complex, as well as a curling rink and other facilities. The students have a unique combination of successful, well-rounded education at Pilot Mountain Collegiate Institute and the professional hockey training in an encouraging community. The years of experience of on-ice coaching propel our students to the next level, both mentally and physically, in a professional environment.